Welcome to a guided meditation by Declutter the Mind. Today we are going to start the practice with finding a comfortable place, sitting on a chair or a cushion on the floor with our back upright or lying down. Today we are going to practice simple meditation practices of training our senses. We would like to start this practice by sitting with our back upright. Now I want you to start by taking in a few deep breaths. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out from your mouth. While you're breathing in, you have to focus on the breath. You have to focus on the cool air touching your nostrils. You can visualize your lungs filling in and expanding. And after a pause, when you breathe out through your mouth, you have to notice your lungs contracting, your chest going down. Now, on the next out breath, I want you to close your eyes. You can return the breathing to its normal speed. In today's life, where we are surrounded by a lot of gadgets, a lot of instruments that we use, it is very hard to get lost. It is very hard to be caught up in these gadgets and the sounds they make and the different attention grabbers that are around us. So, today's practice, we are going to focus on all the natural sounds versus all the man made sounds that we can hear. So, now I want you to visualize and I want you to focus on the different sounds that you can hear. You can imagine them as layers of sounds superimposed on one another. So, we right now, you are not exactly focusing on any one particular sound, but you can see that by paying attention, you can differentiate between the various sounds. For example, right now, I can hear the birds, I can hear the wind blowing, I can even hear a constant hum of some insects behind. You can classify these as natural sounds, sounds made by nature. Now, in the back, there is also a layer of a vehicle approaching. That's a man made sound. Even this honk was a man made sound. There are different uh, parts in your brain which are activated by these sounds. And like we know that as humans, we are part of nature and we have been spending, like, we have evolved in such a way that there are different kinds of brains that get activated when we feel or we experience natural sounds, whereas there are different kinds of brains which get activated by the constant hum of technology or gadgets. For example, the sound of a vehicle approaching produced different feelings, and after hearing that honk, there were s- uh, there were parts of alertness that got activated in my brain. So this is the conditioning that we have had on our selves because of man-made things. Now, depending upon where you are practicing, you can also identify different layers of sounds, and you can try to differentiate between them. I can hear people talking far away. I can hear the branch of a tree breaking, the crack that it's making. Right now, I am sitting in a village. That is why the amount of man-made sounds is only restricted to vehicles passing by. But if you were to be in a city, there would be different. There would be a lot of different amount sounds that you would be able to identify. And we are constantly living in this hum. Now, after focusing our attention on our hearing this sound, I want you to pay attention to the sense of touch. Like, for example, right now I am sitting and I can feel my weight on my bum, I can feel my legs touching the floor, and I can also feel the touch that my fingers are making with this phone. um, I can even feel the cool breeze hitting against my hand, uh, moving through the hair of my hands. I can feel my elbows touching my knees. If I can only focus more on this touch, I can slowly train my attention to touch the different points of contact. I can feel the weight of my body on the floor. I can feel my shirt pressed against my back. I can feel this because I am paying attention to it. Now, while we are focusing our attention, trying to focus our attention, our monkey mind, which is like there's a tendency to be get lost in thought, you know, and it will happen quite an often times. You can always use some natural anchors within your body to bring your attention back into the body. Like you can focus on the breath, you can focus on the points of contacts, you can even focus on the sounds that you're hearing. Be one with the sounds, try to pay attention to the sounds instead of paying attention to your getting caught in the thoughts and following the thoughts to in a random direction. You can always bring back your attention on these anchors. Now I want you to slowly open your eyes, and we are going to practice focusing on the different elements in my field of vision, in your field of vision. So we are going to start with, I'm going to share what I can see right now. I can see the fields, and I can see a line of coconut trees ahead, and then I can see the mountains behind. Here, if we were to classify between natural and man-made elements, there is the small room that has been constructed, and there is a cell phone tower on the right side of the mountain. There are electricity wires going. There's a pole, maybe you cannot see it because of clarity, and the rest is natural. When I see the natural parts, I can see the trees moving, the leaves of the trees moving because of wind blowing. I can even see the clouds moving slowly because of wind. The greenery has a calming effect on the mood. Now, coming back to your field of vision, you can focus on the different objects that you can see. You can focus on the depth of those objects, how far they are. For example, I'm trying to estimate the depth of the coconut trees. I believe they are somewhere around 150 feet from where I'm sitting. Now I am going to visualize myself, watching myself sitting here if I were sitting on the coconut tree. So I am imagining that a part of my soul is coming out of my body, and it's slowly traveling towards the coconut tree and climbing on top of it. And I'm going to try to visualize how the part of soul would look, what the part of soul would see if I look at myself from there. I'm going to repeat the same practice for another interesting object. I think it would be the cell phone tower. So from up above there, the sight that I would be seeing myself holding the camera, talking into it. Next, if I am sitting in the field across me, how the angle of elevation would change, and I would be at uh, the same level as I am right now sitting. And now I'm slowly going to imagine that the part of my soul is moving towards me, and now it's one with the body. Now, for the last few minutes, We are slowly going to come out by first focusing on the points of contact of your legs touching on the floor, of your weight on the floor, of my elbows on the knees. And now I'm going to shift the focus or pay close attention to the different sounds, the natural sounds, sounds of birds, insects, the different sounds far, far away which I can try to focus on, the man made sounds, for example, someone hitting on wood. If I pay closer attention, I can even hear the rustle of leaves far, far away. And yes, there's a vehicle approaching and the honk. And now we are going to end this practice by slowly flexing our fingers, closing our wrist, opening our fingers, and trying to feel the very minute movements that our fingers are doing. We're going to gently roll the shoulders outwards, then few rolls inwards. We are going to move the neck around, and we can now get back to our work or our daily routine. Thank you.